All members are in attendance. We do not have the previous minutes to approve, so at the next meeting, we'll be approving both last month and this month in August. Finance Director is unable to attend this evening, so we will turn to the mayor, and I guess first ask you if you want to have any open issues or any new business to discuss.
Thank you. I just remind you that you have two pieces of legislation that were sent out very late and one piece that I put in front of you tonight. The first issue, the two ordinances appropriating from the 2023-66 permanent 2024 appropriations would need to be passed first so that the others would have the money coming out of the accounts in order to do that. The two that were sent out late were both related to the FEMA grant, which was just received for the fire department. And so we have the fire capital outlay grant, and then we have the grant fund establishment for those two. The one just handed out tonight deals in part with trying to get ready for the budget and making sure we have enough funds for the airport, as well as the new city garage, which was taxed on property taxes because it had not been changed in time. And then the airport was taxed real estate taxes because the previous finance director thought it was a for-profit airport. And so we need to get that turned around. And then we also had two pieces of property taxed. One was the rail park, which should not be taxed. And the other was parcels of former Lake Erie and Western Railroad property, which are too small to build on or anything else. So they really shouldn't be taxed either. So we're trying to get things squared away as we get ready to put the budget together for next year.
Now,
I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, I'm just wondering, particularly that railway, that's not new, so.
No, it's not new.
Years had passed, bills, and
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just when I saw the bill, I pulled up the parcels, and they're between like Lynn and Cherry Street, and the other one's between like Fremont and Lynn Street along Sandusky Street.
Okay. Were they very much?
No, those two were not very large, but the value on them increased 412% and 568%, which is absolutely ludicrous.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering those ones that are the small amounts. We used to get those at the school districts, and they were just like an assessment for like a water development or something, and the school district did have to pay for those. So maybe though a couple of those are okay.
We'll dig into them and find out.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
I have a question. So the appropriations for the taxes, so we have to pay the taxes on the airport and the building, and then we're going to go back and get it.
And appeal them.
Right.
So will that trigger probably a then and now? I'm going to guess that'll probably trigger a then and now. We can expect that to come down the road. Because if we didn't know about it, we wouldn't have had the PO in place.
Not if we pay it and then appeal it and get the money back, I don't think.
Okay. Okay.
So.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. Thanks for the update. Mr. Keckler, do you have any open issues or new business?
I do not.
No? Anybody from the committee? Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on finance-related item?
I would.
Okay.
Allison. On 18.5 West Center Street, apartment 2. I'm here. When I was going through my records, I'm trying to weed out all my old records, and I found where the income tax is to be. The current income tax runs until 12/31/2026, and it has to be renewed again. Um, when exactly does the real estate tax levy have to be renewed? I don't have that information. And I know it also was renewed for 5 years not too long ago, and so it will be coming up shortly or fairly shortly, probably after 10/23/26. Um, but also, of course, currently the income tax, the 1%, is divided as follows: $200,000 for street resurfacing, $200,000 for capital projects, $100,000 for infrastructure, $30,000 to the library, $30,000 for recreation, $30,000 for development, $10,000 for citywide cleanup. That's a total of $600,000. The remainder, of course, to the general fund. It's been that way for quite some time. Uh, I might mention, since the memorial for Jim Bailey was Saturday, um, Jim was the one that got the second, what I call the second 0.5%
Mhm.
passed, which of course is now part of the 1% because they've been combined. But Jim did that, and boy, did he work hard to get that done, and he got that done, and that was really something that he accomplished mostly by himself. So that's all I have to say right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Jill Filiator, 402 West Culbertson. I'll make sure I sign the paperwork. I was unable to attend last council meeting session, and sort of sad that I don't see the finance director here, because I do have just a clarification question that I have. I hear on the report that you guys have to do, and I've got a feeling you'll have to do a special meeting now, but an emergency so that you can do an addendum to your fiscal recovery paperwork and your financials. Could somebody, and you don't have to because I know it's a committee meeting, but how far back are you going? Is it just a 1 year review that you have to go through the commissioner? And what was the main issues? Because it seems that to do it as an emergency, there was an issue.
Um, I'll speak to that, what I know of it. First of all, that committee meets quarterly, I believe. Works
Quarterly.
with the state. And just like working with a forecast, you would update that as new information becomes available, because we plan, but some things don't ever go exactly as we plan. And so that forecast or that recovery plan would get updated periodically. And that's what is getting done at this one. They have decided they're bringing that money in for the
Splash pad.
splash pad. Thank you. I wanted to say water pad. And that needs to be updated. That needs to be appropriated. We had some legislation or appropriations that we needed to adopt. And we also needed that done so that that could get incorporated into that plan, which we will be meeting at the end of the month to do.
Okay.
That's why it was coming as an emergency. So when we met as a group, those changes could take place.
All right.
in
So
that
corrective
plan.
action is being done, and that's good. Thank you very much.
Anybody else from the public?
Deb Tyson, 800 Woodward Avenue, Lot 9. I just wanted to say that uh, it was something that took me by surprise when I first moved here. I'd never paid city income tax anywhere. And I see why we pay city income tax. A lot of people I've talked to, they don't understand. And you have to take care of your town. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, Deb. Anyone else? Okay, with that, I would remind you that our next meeting will be August 20th at 5:30 in council chambers, and ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, 5:40 PM.